I'm Joan Embry. In this episode of Animal R&R, when this Carlsbad resident looked up in the sky last May, she saw a black cloud over her house. She returned 3 days later to find that someone else had taken up residence. Now the rehabbers at the Fund for Animals Wildlife Center are doing everything they can to help this wildfire refugee get home too. Shorebirds like egrets and herons are an elegant feature of local waterways. But the same tall, slender form that makes them so beautiful also makes them vulnerable to mishaps, both accidental and deliberate. And this red-tailed hawk was never expected to make it. But today, she's beating all the odds and going back to the wild. This quiet residential neighborhood in Carlsbad off Poinsettia Lane runs to the edge of a canyon, 1.5 miles long and 1/10 of a mile wide. Carrie Lee Stone has lived here 5 years. She and her neighbors share their home with many wildlife species living just over her back fence. That fence is an urban edge, one of those unofficial lines in the sand between the world of people and wild animals. A fact that would be thrown into high relief when disaster struck last May. In May 2014, Carrie Lee was on her way north on the 5 when she stopped at this gas station on La Costa Avenue. And that's when she saw it, a black cloud of smoke right over her house.
I'm pumping gas and I look up and I see a plume of smoke. And I thought, that's my house. When it became real, I think, was driving down my street and just seeing a half a dozen people at the end of the block just looking and seeing the flames.
This is scary, scary, scary.
I walked straight out to the canyon and was just like, wow. It was close. It was scary close.
Holy cow.
It looked like my next door neighbor's house was on fire.
This is my house.
I'm positive my house is gonna burn. Absolutely positive. It was dark, black smoke, and the wind was blowing really heavily, and it was coming this direction. My house is gone. That's what I was thinking. There's no way.
This is my canyon.
For half an hour, Carrie Lee watched the flames. When neighbors left, she followed.
Why am I still standing here videotaping?
Carrie Lee could only watch helplessly on TV as the fire raged.
Highway 8 in East County.
We've had 9 confirmed fires in San Diego County today.
Fire engulfed this home on Skimmer Court.
People started calling me. Carrie Lee, are you okay? Is it near you? Is it near you? And I'm like, yes, pray. Please pray.
The flames did subside, and Carrie Lee returned home to find she still had one. The Poinsettia fire had come within 300 yards of her house before it was halted. Returning to the very spot where she had stood in awe before a column of smoke, she looked down to see something just as remarkable.
My first thought was it was a fox. I thought, oh, how cute. It was a little puppy.
Staring up at her was a baby coyote, male, weighing only 3.5 pounds.
Fire is a natural part of the ecosystem. The carnivores recognize it and know to run.
Scott Tremore is the curator of mammals at the San Diego Natural History Museum.
There was a lot less survivorship in many mammal species as a result of these fires. We've overmanaged our fires. We've controlled them way too much, and so we had all this buildup of fuels, and we had this catastrophic fire.
Carrie Lee wisely reached out to the animal control. The officer lifted the pup from its hiding place with a pair of forceps. All 4 of the pup's paws had been severely burned. Carrie Lee's visitor wasn't the only one who fled from the canyon that day. A female pup about the same age had been reported and picked up by animal control only hours before on the opposite rim of the canyon behind Carrie Lee's home. She was showing the same symptoms, including paw burns consistent with running through a fire. It is unlikely that two distinct coyote families would live so close together. The boy coyote from Carrie Lee's backyard and the girl coyote from across the canyon are almost definitely brother and sister. Like Carrie Lee and her neighbors, they were forced to flee the advancing fires, but unlike Carrie Lee, they have no home to return to.